Hey guys, it's Tick here, and I'm going to be attempting to shoutcast a League of Legends game. This is a low elo silver gold game. To be exact, it's high silver, low gold. And this is a friends game, but I still feel the need to commentate this because I really don't think I know what the hell I'm on about, so I'm not going to risk doing diamond games yet. On the blue side, we have Lucian, Orianna, Shyvana, Blitzcrank, and Udyr, and more than likely I will be calling them by their champion names, not their character names. Played by, in the same order, X Variation, Sick Nasty 398, Gamebro Advance, Bunyan, Erison Owned You. On the purple side we have got Graves, Karma, Garen, Fizz, and Lee Sin. Played by Dekusulsan Nishi, Poop Intercourse, Kevin the Man 24, Exo521, and Twirl. And here we are in game. So, the reason why I had to stop and start that is that for some reason Badicam has a really bad habit of lowering the frame rate down to like nil. So, excuse me that one. So, the roles are as followed. Graves is the AD carry, Karma is the support, Garen is the top lane, Fizz is the mid lane, and Lee Sin is the jungle. On the opposite side, it is a Lucian with Blitzcrank support, and Udyr jungle, a Shyvana top, and an Orianna mid. Now, the way things go, going by my lack of knowledge, is that actually the teams are kind of all over the place. On the red side, they seem to have a mixture of a poke AoE comp with Fizz's ult, Garen's E, and of course Karma's empowered Q, and the fact that, well, Graves does quite a lot of AoE-based damage with the buckshot and the ult. On the other hand, it appears that Blue Team has more of a pick team, with Blitzcrank obviously being the core thing behind that. As it goes with the lanes, the jungle is going to be the deciding factor. Garen is more than likely going to win against Shyvana due to the innate sustain that he has. The bottom lane, it's kind of all up in the air. I mean, Blitzcrank has got a good grab, but at the same time, the red team have very good disengage, which of course brings it down to the junglers. Since mid lane, we all know that Orianna is pretty much the safest pick when it comes to carries outside of, say, like a Lissandra, because, you know, the ult. So, it's a skill matchup on every area except for the junglers. Now, this is where red team has the advantage. Udyr is not that good of a ganker. He's more of a farm up and then come out and team fight. Lee Sin, however, has more than enough capabilities of, well, getting ganks because he's got a lot of maneuverability. And right off the bat we get a grab onto Karma, but unfortunately level 1 just gonna succeed in getting Karma down to half health. No summoned burns. However, Lucian is now at half health too, so that has just made that entire fight pointless. You can see as well, red team has a ward placed down in the red jungle, so they'll know when they clear it. Meanwhile, Udyr going for a slow clear, which actually will help because it looks like the ward... There we go. They now no longer know when the red buff is going to go down. Meanwhile, Lee Sin selling more for your quicker clears. Clearing a blue camp and so on, and it looks like he's getting ready to gank. Oh, well, looks like we got that grab there. I'm mostly using directed camp because I'm not very good with the camera thing. That might be first blood. It isn't. Meanwhile, Lee Sin forced the flash, and looks like he's going to keep going. That might be first blood. That's going to be first blood, but I think that's going to be a kill for a kill. Yes, it is. So both buffs transfer to Udyr. That's going to be very helpful for him. Unfortunately, that was first blood given to Lee Sin. And of course, Lee Sin, as we know, falls off terribly late game. Which basically means that that first blood is going to help him get ahead and take advantage of his incredibly powerful early game. Meanwhile, Garen has been pushed back. Now, this is kind of expected. Shyvana is a very good pusher. I'd say even bigger than Garen. However, she doesn't have the sustain that Garen has. Meanwhile, Graves closer to level 4 than Blitzcrank and Lucian due to the fact that Karma's had to back. And that was a close miss. Garen got a bit too gutsy there. And I think that if Shyvana had Ignite, that would have easily been a kill, but no, she has Teleport. She intends to get more into the back line. And bottom lane looks to be in trouble. Lucian is a bit low health, and that was close. I think if that would have been a grab, that might have been a kill. Lee Sin ganking all over the place. That's going to be another kill for him, I think. Or not. Ended up forcing a flash, which was surprising. But, you know, not to be expected. Shyvana was low, forced her back. It's probably going to TP back in. Meanwhile, Orianna making use of that ball. Good ball play. But it looks like Lee Sin's coming in for another gank, and that is probably going to be another one. Unless Udyr can get... Nope, that's going to be another kill. Udyr decided... Oh! The inevitable happened! Karma got pulled into the turrets. That's kind of expected when it comes to a Blitzcrank. Well, Orianna complaining about camping a bit more. I think what I will do is turn off the chat, because we don't need to see that. And while we're at it, we'll also shrink the HUD size down to 40. No, that's too high. 60 will do. I think. No, wait. Excuse my unprofessionalness. 70. Yeah, that'll do. 70 will do. So, what I miss? Looks like another trade, which actually Shyvana wins. Now, this is surprising, because Shyvana doesn't have Garen sustain, but I think it might be counteracted by Shyvana's trading potential. After all, that E, when applied, all basic attacks deal 2% max health damage, so if you go in W, E, auto attack Q, that's 6% health damage, and it looks like Orianna is about to be attacked here. I think Lee Sin wanted to another Blood Giants got caught. That's going to be an easy kill, probably for Lee Sin, but not before Karma gets taken down. So that was a support for support, and both the junglers got it. So overall, the gold roughly even, surprisingly enough. And Lucian's leaving Udyr out to dry for whatever reason. Luckily, Lee Sin isn't level 6 yet, but that's going to be a kill. That's going to be jungler for jungler now. Meanwhile, in the top lane, yeah, that's the reason why Shyvana's winning. It's simply down to the fact that Shyvana's got that percent health shred. And of course, both are level 6 now, which means that something's going to come to a head here. Meanwhile, Graves, he's going to get away fine. Lucian has no mana left. Graves not in a good position himself. Surprisingly, Orianna keeping up with CS, even though she's basically being camped by Lee Sin. Now that's good. You never want a Fizz to get ahead of you. Meanwhile, this looks like to be the engage or not. Just a little bit of a love tap there. Now, as I said, this comes down to the junglers, and it's clear that Lee Sin is holding his weight and the kills. Lee Sin has all 4 of the team's kills. Now this can actually be a hindrance to the team, because obviously some champions like, say, Fizz, and especially Graves, need kills to get ahead of their opponents. Now you can see Lucian has got 2 kills up on Graves in the exact same amount of CS. When he goes back, he's going to be able to get a... I believe he's trying to go for a Trinity Force right off the bat, so he should be able to come back with a Phage and maybe even a Sheed. Meanwhile, looks like this is the duel that we've got. As you can see, Garen's damage is now starting to exceed, and of course with the added sustain, Shyvana is in a heap of trouble. They're going to need Udyr to basically aid with that one. And looks like Fizz has found the Manimal. And it's quite promptly, that's the ult down. That's a whole lot of damage gone, and it looks like Lee Sin is wanting to kick back in. Udyr. Solo and Dragon, surprisingly, even though both his middle and his bottom lane are in trouble. Blitzcrank and Lucian are down to 3/4 of their health. But I guess he did solo Dragon. Meanwhile, Shyvana is in a heap of trouble. This is going to be a kill, most likely. Dragon's out, but that's not going to do anything. He's going to just jump behind or kick. He's going to get the kill. 5 kills on that Lee Sin. So basically, Lee Sin is being the hog here, which typically in the low elos that's expected. Most of the time in the lower elos, this is just coming from experience and from what what people have told me, is that typically you need to carry yourself and, ooh, so close to a grab. We'll just have to see how this feeding towards Lee Sin is going to turn out, because obviously with Lee Sin getting all the kills, it puts him at risk, because obviously he's got a lot of gold on him now. People will want to kill him for the shutdown gold eventually, and it looks like Garen's going to get caught out. He tried proxy farming and he's had to burn his flash. Unfortunately, that's left him in a pretty poor position, and instead he's just gonna he's just gonna hopefully run out. Unfortunately, I don't know how well you can. Yeah, that's a little too overzealous of Garen there. Thought he could proxy farm, even though Gretz just got caught. He's got no way out. He's gonna have to burn his heal. Some of the heal's gone down. Some of the flash has gone down. Lee Sin's coming in. And this could actually be turned around. This is going to be a 4-man gank on bottom lane. If they value anything, they're going to back the hell off. But Lucian, low in health. He still has a summoner heal. And he's just popped it. Unfortunately, that's gonna... He's dead. Ignite, dead. That was a poor decision from Lucian and Blitzcrank. They knew they were low. They couldn't see Lee Sin. They should have made the assumption, and that's going to cost them not only 2 kills by turret, and maybe a couple more, considering what Fizz is doing. Same time, Karma very low. That's probably the reason why they decided to stay. They thought maybe they can take one with them. There goes that pink ward. And, however, Shyvana is going to answer with a turret of their own. Which means now Shyvana can easily roam up, and in fact she's going for a fight. She has a Vampire Scepter, but no, too much damage. She didn't have minion advantage. She doesn't have the level of tankiness that Garen has, who has a giant spell right now. I'm just curious what they're saying in the chat. Just your typical anger. I'll try to refrain from looking at the chat in general, but I will admit that it's kind of entertaining to see people arguing with each other, even though I know that is not what I should be doing. Anyway, it appears that it's mostly turning into a farm lane up top. Garen blocking off Shyvana. He didn't land the E. That's a trade that cannot be won, and that is probably a kill. Yep. Meanwhile, Orianna, once again, getting camped. It's honestly surprising that they haven't... Oh, that could be a double kill. That could be a double kill. That is going to be a double kill. The greed of the Lee Sin was too much. And this is where the lack of kills being funneled into Lee Sin is starting to take hold. Udyr now has his Feral Flare, which means he's going to do tons more damage. He's got 4 kills, so he is quite fed, but compared to Lucian, who has bought a BF sword, unfortunately falling behind on the CS. If we look at where all the gold is, Lee Sin is actually, despite having those 5 kills, a lot further behind Udyr. Even though Udyr's got 1 less kill and 1 more assist, he has twice as much farm. And this is because he's just been farming and farming and getting his Feral Flare up and farming and farming. he has basically been banking, I'm sorry, on his team to hold their lanes. And they mostly have. Mid lane is quite back and forth. That's not going to be a kill, but both sides are going to be quite badly hurt. Orianna has her themes. There's also a little visual glitch there, as you can see. Garen is coming in for the kill, and that might be a dead Orianna. That is a dead Orianna. Didn't have enough time for the command protect, and Shyvana is suddenly finding herself in a 3v1. However, she's now got the Cutlass, she's now got a Giant Spell, she's got a good amount of tankiness. Meanwhile, Graves ended up getting caught. That's the thing that happened, and it looks like they're all diverging over to the mid lane. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to switch to manual camera, and I'm going to try and take control by myself. So I'm just going to... Oh! Garen's gotten... Yeah, that's not going to do anything. I'm so unprofessional with this. There we go. And Blitzcrank got caught. That's going to be a free kill for them. I don't think they're going to stay for this one. Nope. They're just going to back away from this one. Shockwave, unfortunately, didn't do a whole lot. So let's see. Udyr going for Dragon again. You know, I'm going to turn this back into directed cam. And not in a good position. He's going to have to give away the Dragon. There's going to be free Dragon. It's probably going to be a kill as well. He's been exhausted. Is going to get empowered Q'd. And I think this is a dead Udyr. Burning heal, burning everything. And yeah, there goes Udyr. Unfortunately, at the same time, Garen dived in. That's going to be a dead Shyvana. So overall, that was quite a few kills. We're just going to jump back 30 seconds or so and see what happened here. So, Garen hiding in the bush as Garen does. Dealt a lot of damage to Orianna. Orianna didn't respect the damage. Oh no, got caught and then got promptly killed. Meanwhile, Shyvana taken down after being dove by 2 turrets. So let's just speed this up. Oh. I want to go back there. We're playing catch-up now at this point, ladies and gentlemen. What happened here? Garen, for some reason, tried to keep farming, proxy farming all the time. And that just resulted in a free kill. Okay. So let's go back to the live. Absolutely nothing's going on right now. There we go, we're back to live. Now that mid turret, it's gonna go down. Fizz is just gonna tank that, he doesn't care.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Decides not to go in. His Churn the Waters just came up though, and Lee Sin's been caught. And at the same time, Fizz has been caught. Playful Tricks is out there. Garen is coming in from the side. Lee Sin catches Blitzcrank, decides not to kick him in. I don't really blame him, it's just a support. Gonna take down that ward. Meanwhile, Udyr not giving any care, but now he's in a bad position. And that's down to if Orianna Shockwave pulls Garen off him. And it looks like they're all gathering up. Now remember, Shyvana has teleport. So it's... I'm gonna see what happens if I do this. Okay. It looks like Graves gonna take a little bit of damage, and Lee Sin is in the perfect position now to pull them all out. Meanwhile, that Q is going to... Oh, the stun! That's going to be a kill for Udyr. Unfortunately now, they're collapsing in. Their back line is now their front line. Lee Sin's going to go in. Gets CC'd, stunned, and here comes Shyvana. teleport back in, and that is going to be a very clean 4 for 1.
Double kill.
So that is 9 kills to the Udyr. Now, I want to go back to this team fight and basically look at what happened here. So, of course, the fight really started here when Udyr glitched through the wall. Okay. Well, now, this is where the fight started. So, basically, the battle lines are drawn, and unfortunately, the front line, which is Udyr and Shyvana, is nowhere to be seen. Now, of course, here's the thing that Lee Sin ended up doing. He went for a Blitzcrank. Hit the Blitzcrank, which left him in perfect range, so before he could do anything, before he could W, he ulted, knocked him up, and that was enough CC so that Lee Sin was like, you know what, I'm gonna die, I'm just gonna kick Lucian away and hope that Graves and Garen can do something. Unfortunately, Shyvana had teleported in. On top of that, Udyr had come back into the fight, right behind, right into the main damage dealer. At this point, the battle was over. Garen, while he is Garen, he doesn't have the damage. So we're just going to go ahead and speed this up, try and get back to
Red team's
where
turret has been destroyed.
we're at. Let's just look here. Fizz tries to take on Shyvana. Unfortunately, at this point, Shyvana is getting too tanky. Shyvana has no magic resist, but of course, that passive, that innate tankiness. So let's just speed up a bit more. Lee Sin getting caught again. Same case scenario, but except I think does he survive? He doesn't get through this time. So at this point, this is where the downside of giving all the kills to Lee Sin is falling flat. As you can see here, outside Blitzcrank and Udyr, the kills. Speaking of Udyr, Udyr's been caught, but he should be able to get out no problem. He has a Sunfire Cape, and Garen doing the Garen thing, waiting in the bush, and just casual walk away. No big deal. Meanwhile here, sieging down the middle turret. Now you have to remember that Karma, and now that Garen's taking part, the better wave clear is definitely on blue team. Now Udyr, not in a good position here. He's got 3 of them on him, 4 of them on him, and Blitzcrank is gonna go in, just get him out, and that's a decently good shockwave. Unfortunately, only got one person. Fizz gets caught out, Blitzcrank takes the ult, and this is just Shyvana just leaps in, takes out Karma even, I'm sorry. Meanwhile here, Blitzcrank dealing with Garen, but of course, knowing that there's so many team, there was a 2 for 0. Blitzcrank survived that, and that's going to be a turret. That has now turned the gold lead back in the favor of blue team. Meanwhile, Garen ended up turning around, getting Blitzcrank, pays for it with a death due to Udyr. Now then, we are finally pretty much back to live again. There we go. You know, I wish that we could do things like the LCS where we go back and have those separate screens sometimes. And it looks like they're going to be going for Dragon. Both sides want this Dragon. Now the question is, who's going to win? A fed Udyr, who's got... How many stacks on his Fell Flare has he got? It doesn't matter. Kicked away. Lucian is now out in the open. He could get killed here. Doesn't. Fizz decides that it's too much of a risk. It won't be a fair trade. And that's basically backed him away. That's a whole bunch of summoners healed. A whole bunch of ults down. And looks like Blue Team are going to go for this. They've got 5 of them. I just want to point out as well just how warded the bottom lane was. They were both looking forward to this Dragon. They've got wards pretty much in the exact same spots, minus well this area here. A pink ward still there since I think around 14 minutes. So they're just going to go in, get that reset. During this downtime, I'm going to fix my mouse speed. And I can get away with this. I can get away with being so unprofessional. Can I, like, slow this down? No. Whatever. Meanwhile, Garen, again, Garen things. Now Garen has a Brutalizer, doesn't have a whole lot of damage, and at this point, well, actually no, Shyvana doesn't have a Blade of the Rune King yet. She can probably go toe-to-toe with Garen, but win? I don't think that's going to be possible. Meanwhile, Blitzcrank, getting a bit risky here. Probably going to end up getting a free kill. Because Fizz going in, Blitzcrank diverting them all the way. They're just going to settle with a support kill right here, it seems. Or not! They wanted to make something happen, and in the end, they ended up, well, basically letting the support get away. And now here comes the counter engage. Shyvana teleported in, I think. Did she? No, she just ran in. Karma gets kicked. No, not Karma. Udyr gets kicked back, and Karma gets killed by Lucian again. That is a 5-1-7 Lucian with 112 CS. Now remember, typical math is around 20 to 30 minions equals 1 kill. So Graves is only technically 3-2-3. And looks like they're going to be pushing up the bottom lane turret. But of course, even though Karma's not there, they still have a decent amount of wave clear. It's all down to who can clear the best. You got Udyr with the AoE Phoenix, but it looks like he's going to Tiger Stance. And goes under the turret. Not sure what he's thinking there. They have a lot of burst with Garen, and of course, Lee Sin and Fizz was there too. And now they're on full retreat. Blitzcrank maybe going to get a free kill. That's 2 summoners for the case of 1. And that's Udyr getting killed. Shyvana's going to go in though. This is not a good situation for her. And that is... oh. This is just rebounded back into Red's favor. They're still behind on gold. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it. Orianna is going to try and get killed by the turrets. And that would be rather insulting. And executed. So they get the experience, but not the gold. The gold is only 2,000 between the two, 1 kill between the two, and they're equal on turrets. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a mark about how many dragons they've got, but I believe that the current one is 2-1 for blue team. Now you can see both teams putting a lot of emphasis on this bottom lane, even though the dragon's not back yet. Honestly, they should be doing the same case scenario with Baron at this point, because it's at that stage of the game where they can go in for Baron. Both teams have got champions that can easily deal with Baron. You've got Garen, you've got Shyvana, you've got Udyr, you've got Lee Sin. And this is going to be a Baron fight. They know it's happening now. But the question is, can Lee Sin get there to steal the kill? Obviously, it's Smite advantage, or can they burst it down? They've got Baron, but unfortunately now they're in a bad position. Lucian gets hit by the ult, loses a bit of health, but the problem here is that... okay, now it's just... oh, the culling misses its original target, still whittles down about quarter to health. And now... blue team gets away with a slightly... oh no! Garen's been caught! Wasn't even able to get a kill. The health regen of Baron bringing Blitzcrank to near death to a quarter health. And it looks like Red Team are going to concede with that one. So they get away from that one. A rather messy fight. Both sides, Garen and Karma, couldn't really decide whether to get in, and so Karma got taken down so low. They needed that empowered E to give him that last ability. And of course, Lee Sin wasn't there, and this is what I mean. Look at all these wards that are here right now. All 3 wards from Blitzcrank have been used, at least I think. Is that a... yep, all 3 wards from Blitzcrank were used there, compared to... looks like 2 of Karma's. So if we go back to the directed cam... looking at the CS, it's rather close across the board, except for the fact that Udyr has more CS than pretty much anybody on the red team, on the blue team, and Garen has more CS than the carry. Typically, that's a bad sign if your carry has less CS than anybody else, especially if they don't have the kills to back it up. I mean, if you look at Graves. If Graves and Garen swapped their scores, then that would be great. You know, Udyr's got that going for him. He's 10-3-6 with 147 CS. He is just a monster right now. And he hasn't even finished the build. That looks to be a Trinity Force being built on Udyr. So he's going for more damage. More... Basically, I won't be surprised if his last item was a Zephyr. He's got... How many stacks is that he's got? 44 stacks on his Feral Flare. That's a significant amount of damage, especially given the number of nerfs. And this is currently a 3v4. Udyr, for some reason, wanted to go in. Again, he's against Champions of Law Burst. And this is a rather tense moment. Orianna has been caught a bit. Blitzcrank going around the back. Now, most people usually expect Blitzcrank, and there's the ward. That's going to buy some time. Karma taken very low by Command Dissonance. And it looks to be... Red team has to go in. They either have to go in or concede the turret. Otherwise, they're just going to get poked down, and it's going to give them a couple kills. Lee Sin decides to go in. Gets CC'd up, and unfortunately, that's all she wrote pretty much. Udyr is up top. I wish there was a Peke cam right now. And that fight, it started so good. Oh wait, no. Fizz is going back in. That could be a free double kill for Fizz. And somehow Fizz turning it around. That's going to be a kill. But that was surprising. That 4v4 ended up going a 3-for-3. Unfortunately for them, they let Udyr have fun with the inhibitor. And that inhibitor's going to go down. I'm pretty sure that... Oh no, he's going to stay and fight this. He's so tanky. Graves does not have a last whisper. He can barely do any damage here. And of course now, Garen, with that Youmuu's Ghostblade, giving Armor Pen. That's going to... It's not going to kill him, and that's just bad mana Udyr there. Like, that's Trick 2G level. Meanwhile, Shyvana, the only survivor of that fight at full health, pushing down the mid lane, unfortunately wasn't able to do much about that. So, as it stands, 23-21, and a 6,000 gold lead. Udyr still being hounded by Garen. And here comes Shyvana now, just basically to help clean up. At this point, Garen should just, yep, accept defeat, try and use some Demacia Justice, and Lee Sin's been caught. Now, Lee Sin, very mobile, should be able to get, nope, he's gone. I was going to say, very mobile, should be able to get out of here, but then got pulled in, and, well, when you get pulled in by a Blitzcrank, that's typically the end of. And now, blue team looking to go for Dragon. Lee Sin is dead, he's not going to be back for another 30 seconds, so they can get this Dragon uncontested. Udyr looks to be aimed towards the Dragon as well. Now, of course, the thing is, Dragon is well warded, so they could try and take advantage of this. I don't think it would be wise to contest it, especially not with Karma and Fizz. This is a 2v4, and there goes Karma. It is now a 4v1 in contesting of Dragon. So that is going to be the third Dragon for blue team. That is going to take their gold up to just over 8,000 gold. 9,000 gold, actually. Meanwhile, red team only just got the minions out of their base. Baron is going to be back in another 40 seconds, and I think that if red team want to come out from this one, they're going to have to go for the Baron. That said, blue team stacking up down bottom lane. They want this bomb turret. They probably want the inhibitor too. They've got the large minion wave, and it doesn't look like they've got the wave pushing. There we go, Blitzcrank and Udyr, just a threat alone. Okay, and here we go, we got the fight. a shockwave, and I can't talk properly. I'll go back onto this one once this fight ends, but it looks like in their overzealousness, yep, there goes Udyr. Okay, and that was an ace. So I'm just going to go back and actually try and say this fight properly. I apologize because I just did that horribly. Okay, so as you can see here, Lucian getting the turret down low. Now here comes the problem. At this point they get collapsed on, and instead of finishing up the turret, Lucian backs off. Orianna gets ulted, and basically the turret is having free reign. Look at that damage that it's starting to do. Lucian gets caught. Actually gets killed by a support, I think. Nope. That was overall a messy fight, but really, if I had to go by anything, and I may just be talking out my ass here, but it was more down to the fact that they got overzealous. They thought, oh, we're ahead, you know, we can ace them, and unfortunately they got caught with the odds against them. And this is going to be not only 2 turrets, but an inhibitor, I think. Nope, Lucian is going to get out there. They save the inhibitor. Now the question is, will they go for Baron? In fact, that's actually going to be 2 deaths. Orianna getting both those kills. And Lucian are going for Baron. Makes sense. 40-second cooldown. 40-second respawn time even. And next to nothing to compete with it. Fizz has been spotted and gets pulled in. That's going to be another kill for them. That's there. That was the thing that was starting to carry them. Lee Sin is now hitting that point where he starts to drop off. Fizz is actually starting to get to that point where he becomes a real threat. And again, this is a point I've been making several times. It was good that they fed kills to Lee Sin, but they should have fed it more towards Graves and Fizz. They are underfed compared to Orianna, 6, 8, and 8. Udyr, 12, 4, and 6. Lucian, 6, 3, and 11. And you look at the CS numbers, not really impressive. Karma getting caught here. That's going to be a second inhibitor down. And in fact, they re-got the bomb inhibitor. That's probably going to be another kill. Yep, not even Lee Sin's safeguard can do that. And this looks to be game. Yep, this is game. Blue team comes out at 36 minutes, 31-27, with a 10,000 gold lead. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I know that this was rather poorly made. I'm trying to work on improving it, though. And I'll catch you guys next time.